Hello YouTube, Chrome Freak here, and I am happy to be here. I am in a great mood. I went to the doctor today, I got news that I am clear to go back to work, and I am just so excited and happy I can't even tell you guys. I was so scared, to be honest with you, and worried about today, and everything went great and smooth, and I appreciate everybody's thoughts and prayers. Thank you, and it's in the heart stuff, and hopefully I'll never have another problem again. With that being said, these are not baby Glocks and they're not twins, although they look like it, don't they? They are little Kel-Tecs. P-32, P3AT. It's a 32 caliber ACP 380. They're beautiful little, they're designed for concealed carry. They're beautiful little pistols. I love them both. They work great, guys. The old saying, a 32 in the pocket is better than a 45 at the house. Well, this is the gun I carried with me today to the doctor. 95 degrees out. I wore shorts and a t-shirt. And once again, I'm not going to dress. I'll get into my philosophies, guys, actually on carry concealed. This weekend I might make a video on my everyday carry and what guns, a Glock, on what pistols I carry, why, when, where, that kind of stuff, percentages of trouble, all that. We'll get into it as a whole separate video, and we'll do that this weekend, I'm hoping. But if I mess up on this video, guys, just cut me some slack. I was so worried about today, and I'm so happy tonight, you have no idea. And I'm just real excited. I wanted to do a video. I hope I don't mess it up. Okay. These little two guns are essentially, they're Kel-Tecs. Kel-Tec started off, a man named George Kelgren opened up the company in 1991. He is the owner and chief engineer. He designed guns and was an engineer for Grendel Firearms, Intratec, just to name a couple. And he knows what he's doing, and he knew what he was doing when he was making these. The carry concealed market was just starting to explode. 1995, they started producing the little 32 right here. A few years later, the 380 came out. The company actually started in 91, but 95 is when the pistols came out. And all the employees here at Kel-Tec, by the way, in the USA, Cocoa Beach, Florida, where Space Shuttle takes off, they all are NRA members, every one of them. Their customer service is awesome. I actually dropped one of these pistols, from 300 feet. Okay, guys, I dropped it 300 feet. It's a whole nother video and story, but I did break the frame. The frame broke. I sent it in to them. I didn't exactly tell them I dropped it. I just sent it in. It was broken frame. And they gave me a new one, man. No questions asked. None. So, you know, I didn't BS nobody. If they would have asked me, I would have told them. They didn't ask. They changed the frame out. They actually sent the gun back, and it was almost better than brand new, to be honest with you. Anyway, let's get into the stats of these little guns. Let's check them for safety. And we are clear. By the way, the little 32 here on the last round will lock back. The 380 does not. Empty mag. And we are clear. I actually prefer the 32 over the 380. The reason being is it's a 7-round magazine with 1 in the chamber. This is a 6-round magazine plus 1. So you got 7 here, 8 here. I'll take the 8s. Ballistically speaking, there's not a gigantic or huge difference in a 380 and a 32. We're talking about 30, depending on what bullet you buy, but roughly about 30 grains a bullet and about 30 foot a second. Not a whole lot of difference. The difference is in foot-pounds of force when it hits you, but it's still, ballistically speaking here, we're not talking giant. I actually prefer the little 32. The gun fits nicely in hand. You actually will get one finger around it and about a half. You put the magazine in, it fits a little bit better. A little bit better. You get almost 1 3/4 of a finger on there. And this is another reason I prefer the 32 over the 380. This essentially has hardly any, it's almost like shooting a little 22, to be honest with you. It's really nice, it's sweet. These are not target pistols, guys. They do have nice sights that work well at the range, but as a defensive weapon, it's made for 7 yards and in, and it's going to be a pull, point, and pull the trigger pistol. It's not going to be an aiming pistol. And this little 32 is just a little bit more manageable. Not that the 380 is crazy, except I have one issue with it. It has enough power when I shoot it. I had to train myself. I was always accidentally hitting a mag release. So I had to train myself to put my thumb down. And when I put my finger in the trigger and pull the trigger, this is how I had to train myself. I'm not sure, I hope you can see that. And I just don't like it. It's not as comfortable for me. My wife has no problem hitting the magazine release like I do. So I have large hands, I don't have giant hands. I do wear large gloves. That's been a little bit of a problem. So that's another reason I prefer the 32. The Ruger on the 380, which I would probably recommend over to Kel-Tec, to be honest with you, just because they've taken this Kel-Tec design. Let's say they did, because they did. Put them right next to each other. But ergonomically, they got a better grip. They've put a raised lip around the mag release just to stop that from happening. I know I'm not the only guy that was hitting that mag release. There's a couple other guys I've heard on YouTube say the same thing, and it was happening to me too. It doesn't happen with the 32. Let's go ahead and give the measurements. 0.75, 3/4 of an inch across on the 32, 0.77 on the 380, almost identical. Both of them have a sight radius of 3.8 inches, 2.77 inches on both barrels for both of them. They both have 5-pound trigger pulls. Once again, no safeties on these guns. Safety check again. And I'm going to drop the mag, go ahead and let it down. It's a very long trigger pull. Very long. And that is your safety. But because there is no external or internal safeties on this pistol, there are certain states you cannot buy them in. I've been carrying these guns for years, and I've never had a problem, never had a worry or an issue. In my back pocket, I slide it in a little holster just like this. It's got the little sticky material that sticks into your jeans, and you just pull the pistol, comes right on out with no problem. I throw them in my front pocket. Never had an issue, guys, never. Let me give you the weights on this. The loaded weight on the 32 is 9.4 ounces. You will carry this pistol with you everywhere you go. This will make a great carry concealed weapon for anybody, but for the guys that want the bigger calibers and carry a bigger pistol, like the Glock, this is a great secondary. You could throw this in your front pocket, your back pocket, ankle holster. In my case, I use a knee brace. I have a holster, I Velcro in there, and we'll go over that on my everyday carry. And they just, for women, they're phenomenal also. My wife loves both of these little pistols, by the way. And the weight on the 380 is loaded weight, 11.2 ounces. I mean, you're gonna put these pistols in your pocket and you will carry them. That's what I love. Let's go ahead and break this one down. They both break down identical, except a little bit easier on the 32 because on that last round it will lock back, like I said. What you want to do, both of them have a pin right here. The 32, you go ahead, go ahead and slide the lock all the way back, pop the pin, don't pull it all the way out. Release the frame, let it go back, and then go ahead and remove the pin completely, and the slide will come right off the frame, that easy. Both pistols have a double recoil spring and a plastic guide rod. And like a little Glock, it's got a little half moon that the guide rod will fit into when you have the springs on there and you put it back together. That's where the similarities with Glock, except for kind of looking alike in polymer and all that, end. This is a breech designed pistol, breech lock pistol. Most small pistols are a blowback design. That's the beauty of these. That's the genius of this design, is the breech lock. And they're able to achieve that by bulbing the barrel. I don't know if you can see it. Actually flutes right here at the top, and that helps them achieve that locking breech design. Where on a blowback design, you got to have a heavier slide. The slide has to be heavier to retard the speed of it as it blows back, so everything's in sync when it comes back to grab the next round and take it into the chamber. So I think it's just pure genius. It's a polymer frame. The internal frame of this gun is milled from one solid piece of aluminum. It's 7075 T6 aluminum, I'm wanting to say. And it houses the hammer. And that's another thing. It's got an internal hammer here. We got to hurry. Okay, done. We got to hurry here, guys. I'm sorry. And it has a free-floating spring that controls that hammer. The trigger is hooked to the hammer by a transfer bar. And we might make a future video where I go ahead and I completely strip down the frame. If I have enough people wanting to see that, we'll do that. Let's go ahead and put this back together real fast. It goes together very easily. Put both recoil springs back together. It doesn't matter, it's not one goes in the other. Try not to go down, straight down in here, because the end of the guide rod's actually going to have to fit into the little hole right there, and it's actually easier to bring it off to the side, kind of. Maybe I can get on this angle and you can see a little bit better. I want you don't shoot it out like I have many times, and I'm about to do right now, because it's slick with ballistol. Okay, it's on. And it goes onto the frame just as easily. Just slide it right back on. Go ahead and bring it all the way back. there's a little spring inside. You're gonna have to defeat that little spring at first. Once you're past it, let it go ahead, and you lock it on in. And I am not past the little spring yet. There it is. And it's home. And this breaks down just as simple. Just as simple. It's almost like a little Glock. You actually want to slide it back about a 1/2 inch. Your screwdriver, you could even use a spent shell if you like. You can't barely see here, guys, and it's hard to do it with my left hand, and ballistol is what's killing me right here. There it is. Just pop the little pin out, let it go back, just like that. Comes right off. Identical. Both of these little pistols are virtually identical. They're great little pistols. I highly recommend both of them. Sorry if I'm a little excited for this video. I was pretty excited, and I hope I didn't make too many mistakes or leave a lot of things out. And I just wanted to tell you guys thank you.